Hey, what's up? I know I'm a little late. Uh, First of all, yeah, I know I always get on a few minutes later than I intend, than I plan, than I want. But I was trying to figure out how to get this set up for me and Alexa, the first virtual reality 20-sided warrior. Alexa, hello.
Sorry. Hello.
Hi. So there are a few games, actually more than a few, but there's a few board games like Ticket to Ride Europe that have been ported over, and you can actually play with Alexa. She'll teach you how to play the game. She'll actually sit in as a player in the game as well. But there are also certain other games that have been developed specifically for Alexa or similar applications. So I discovered a lot of them, and one of them really caught my attention: the Dark Citadel. So we're going to give this a try. Alexa, start Dark Citadel.
Loading the Dark Citadel. Welcome back to the Dark Citadel. At any time you can change my name to plus the name you would like to display on leaderboards. You can also change it on the character sheet at llitd.com. Your difficulty is set at easy. Let's jump into the game.
Do I need paper? Okay.
You grew up in a small town known as Pendleford. It was a quiet little haven without a lot of action and excitement, but you always wanted something more from life than just being a peasant or farmer like your forebears. When you finally came of age, you decided it was time to go out exploring the world. On this, the fateful day when your journey begins, you leave the safety of your small home to become an adventurer. Your first stop in the journey is the local town where you must acquire passage to the capital city of Alderton. Your journey will take you the north along a treacherous route full of bandits and worse. Since the trip is dangerous and long, you know you cannot go it alone. I just sent a link account card to the Alexa app. If you sync this skill, you will unlock current and future features. Your options include: Option 1, search for other travelers. Option 2, look for a caravan. Option 3, attempt the journey alone. And Option 4, wait and watch.
Look for other adventurers.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands.
Repeat.
You grew up in a small town known as Pendleford. It was a quiet little haven without action and excitement, farmer like your forebears.
Next.
When you finally came of age, you decided it was time to go out exploring the world. On this, the fateful day when your journey begins, you leave the safety of your small home to become an adventurer. Your first stop in the journey is the local town where you must acquire passage to the capital city of Alderton. Your journey will take you the north along a treacherous route full of bandits and worse.
Yes, we know north. Bandits.
Since the trip is dangerous and long, you know you cannot go it alone.
I don't want to do it.
Your options include: Option 1, search for other travelers. Option 2, look for a caravan. Option 3, attempt the journey alone. And Option 4, wait and watch.
Option 1.
You search around Pendleton for other travelers and meet an old man named Philip who is also heading north. He's done the journey many times in his life and happens to think the best bet is finding a caravan. One leaves almost daily this time of year. After some searching, you find the person in charge of the caravan and ask permission to join. Her name is Mary, and she is a gruff and strong merchant who looks like she can handle herself in a fight. What do you have to offer? She asks. Your options include: Option 1, say I'm funny. Option 2, say I'm strong. Option 3, say I'm clever. And Option 4, say what did you have in mind?
Option 3.
Clever can get you killed,
she says. She thinks about it for a moment.
Fine. Just don't get in anyone's way and you're welcome to come along,
Mary says. The caravan departs in the morning, so you have some time to rest before the journey. The other travelers seem pleased to have you aboard. Some even attempt to strike up a conversation with you. Your options include: Option 1, make conversation. Option 2, keep to myself. And Option 3, volunteer as a guard.
Oh, but That might be the most fun.
I
Option
didn't
3.
understand that request. Say
Option.
next,
Option.
previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands. She thinks about it for a moment.
Fine. Just don't get in anyone's way and you're welcome to come along.
Mary says. The caravan departs in the morning, so you have some time to rest before the journey. The other travelers seem pleased to have you aboard. Some even attempt to strike up a conversation with you. Your options include Option 1, make conversation. Option 2, keep to myself. And Option 3, volunteer as a guard.
Option 3. Adventure.
You don't have a lot of fighting experience, but you are willing to help take on the duties of a guardsman for the trip, protecting the others. Mary appreciates the extra help and offers to pay you wages at the end of the trip. The caravan departs in the morning and is to travel for many days through the forests surrounding the small city. At first, everything is smooth and pleasant. However, after about a week of travel, one of the guards spots signs of orc activity in the area.
We're still close to town, but we should be cautious. Is anyone willing to scout the area for us?
Mary says. Your options include Option 1, volunteer to scout. Option 2, stay silent. Option 3, go without permission. And Option 4, try to stay unnoticed.
Option 1.
You offer to serve as a scout for the caravan and head off into the woods alone to find any
bodyguard,
signs of
I'm a
orcs or
scout.
bandits. You failed on a perception check. You don't find anything while you are out searching.
What?
Finally, you return to the
I didn't know
caravan
that I-
several hours later to rest, weary and hungry. That night is chilly and everyone gathers around the campfire to stay
It's gonna be
warm.
trouble.
You eat your supper of potato stew and a mug of warm ale before laying out your bedroll to sleep. Something doesn't feel right, though, and the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. It's almost as though someone, or something, is watching you. Your choices include Option 1, go and investigate. Option 2, go back to sleep. Option 3, ask someone else if they noticed anything strange. And Option 4, shift closer to the fire and go to sleep.
Option 3.
You ask around the camp, but no one seems to have the same feeling that you do. With a
And I
yawn,
failed
you
the
return to
perception
your
roll.
slumber. Suddenly, though, you wake up. There is a commotion in the area all around you. Orcs are attacking the caravan. There are dozens of the huge and ugly creatures swarming through the camp. The entire area devolves into chaos and screams as the travelers wake up in terror. You see Mary, the caravan leader, getting chased by one of the orcs near you. Your choices include Option 1, attempt to help her. Option 2, find somewhere to hide. Option 3, run away. And Option 4, stand your ground.
Option 1. That's what the hero
You charge
does.
forward and bravely block the orc's path to Mary. The ugly creature turns to engage you. You are now entering combat with one orc. Say attack or run away or use a special power. What do you want to do now?
Special power.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands. You are in combat with one orc. Options include attacking, using special attacks, asking about details for how something works, or running away. What would you like to do now?
Use special attacks.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands. You are in combat with one orc. Say use disengage to use your special power. What do you want to try next?
Disengage.
You do not have that power. Say attack to swing at the enemy, check your health, or check your enemy's health. What will you do next?
Attack.
You go first. You cut and wound the orc for 9 points of damage. The enemy missed. Say attack or run away or use a special power. What do you want to do now?
Attack. I'm not falling for this again.
You go first. You miss the orc with your sword. The orc missed. Options include attacking, using special attacks, asking about details for how something works, or running away. What would you like to do now?
Attack.
You go first. You attack and wound the orc for 5 points of damage. The opponent collapses to the ground and is dead. You found 2 gold coins and earned 29 experience points.
2 GP.
You defeat the orc, and Mary thanks you. She looks just behind you and gasps. Look out, she screams, but too late. Just then another orc sneaks up behind you and hits you in the back of the head. You slip into unconsciousness. You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Do I have one?
When you wake up, you are seated on the hard ground and tied in a line with the other passengers from the caravan. It is still night and there is a campfire smoldering nearby. No one is severely harmed, but everyone who was with the caravan was captured. One of the smelly orcs is pacing nearby, and he seems to be the leader.
Skunky.
He turns suddenly and shouts.
In charge?
Mary is petrified with her head down, sobbing to herself. Your choices include Option 1, say I am in charge. Option 2, say Mary is in charge. And Option 3, stay quiet.
Sell her out. I'm in charge. Option 1.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle possible commands.
We know who's in charge. Alexa. I'm in charge.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands.
Option 1.
When you wake up, you are seated on the hard ground and tied in a line with the other passengers from the caravan. It is still night and there is a campfire smoldering nearby. No one is severely harmed, but everyone who was with the caravan was captured. One of the smelly orcs is pacing nearby, and he seems to be the leader. He turns suddenly and shouts.
Who is in charge?
Mary is petrified with her head down, sobbing to herself. Your options include Option 1, say I am in charge. Option 2, say Mary is in charge. And Option 3, stay quiet.
Option 1.
You claim to be in charge of this group of travelers, unsure of the orc's intentions. The orc strides over to you, kneeling down to look you in the eyes. He has huge tusks protruding from the sides of his mouth and a jagged cut over his right eye. He eyes you for a long while, sizing you up, and then laughs.
Pathetic humans.
He says. He kicks you in the stomach. Then, he grunts something to the nearby guards and then walks off into the forest. A few orcs stay behind to guard all of the travelers while the others loot the caravan. You attempt to wriggle free of your ropes but can't move your hands enough to get loose. The orcs aren't really paying attention to you, and after a while you notice one of them falling asleep. A while later, the other ones fall asleep as well. The night drags on, when suddenly you hear a whisper from next to you. I think I can get loose. If you help me, I can free my wrists. A man says. You slide closer to the traveler and help him work his hands free of his bonds. He is a young man in his early 20s with blonde hair and blue eyes. His clothes are expensive, so you assume he is a merchant's son. With your help he manages to slip loose of the ropes. One of the sleeping orcs begins waking up and you realize you are short on time. The young man is terrified. Come on, he mutters. We need to leave before the orcs wake up. Your options include Option 1, leave with him and abandon the others. And Option 2, refuse to leave without the others.
Option 2.
It's too risky.
The other traveler says.
We should just go.
Your options include Option 1, say not a chance will I leave them. Option 2, say fine, let's go. And Option 3, attack a nearby orc.
Option 3.
You pick up your sword and attack the orc that is waking up. The young man takes the opportunity to untie the others. You have acquired the clue Save the Caravan, which will unlock responses, chapters, or locations throughout the game. You are now entering combat with one orc. Say attack or run away or use a special power. What do you want to do now?
Attack.
You go first. You attack and hit the enemy for 8 points of damage. The enemy has 5 out of 13 hit points left. The orc hit you for 7 points of damage. You have 20 out of 27 hit points left. Options include attacking, using special attacks, asking about details for how something works, or running away. What would you like to do now?
Attack.
You go first. You cut with your sword and hit the opponent for 5 points of damage. The orc collapses to the ground and is dead. You found 1 gold coin and earned 33 experience points. Whip has been added to your character sheet. You strike the orc down and finish untying everyone. After everyone is free, you rush out of the area and head away from the encampment. The orcs give chase, but you manage to elude them, and after a few hours of pursuit they give up. You follow Mary and she leads everyone to a nearby safe haven where they can rest.
Thank you.
Amy says,
I will not forget what you did for us.
Fonzie, we'll see you later.
you could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword. Reynolds Pass is a bustling little haven of only around 300 citizens. It is a trading post, however, so it has a well-furnished market and a fair number of outsiders and street vendors peddling their wares. You know that you will need to find a way to continue north to the capital of Alderton now that the caravan is dismantled. As you stroll through town searching for a place to rest for the night, an old woman suddenly rushes out into the street and attempts to flag you down. Your choices include, Option 1, ignore her and keep walking. Option 2, stay and talk to her. Option 3, stop and listen to what she has to say. And Option 4, speak with Mary.
Option 3.
You stop and wait for her to catch up. Out of breath, she stumbles up to you. She says her name is Lola and explains that she has got a big problem back at her house that she doesn't know how to fix it alone. You have reached a milestone. You found 2 gold coins and earned 33 experience points.
Thank heavens that you are here. There are rats in my basement.
Lola says,
No one else will help me and I'm afraid to go downstairs to get my wheels of cheese.
I'm
I would
grinding.
have asked my husband to do it, but he passed away and I'm all alone. You look like the kind of strapping youngster who can deal with a problem like this for me, and I was wondering if you might be willing to help me out?
Your options include, Option 1, help the old woman. Option 2, refuse to help. And Option 3, rats? Are you crazy?
Option 1.
You offer to help. After all, how hard can a couple of rats be to take care of?
Wonderful.
Lola exclaims.
I knew I could count on you.
She leads you through the bustling little town to her small home near the outskirts. It's a quaint little abode and she lives there alone. Lola leads you to the stairs leading into the basement. She is terrified at the prospect of opening the door, and she asks you if you are ready.
How many
Her
rats
fear is
are there?
unnerving and you feel the hairs standing up on the nape of your neck.
Oh, man.
It's just a little rat, you say to
It's
yourself.
a rat, isn't it?
How bad can it be? She opens the door and hands you a candle with shaking hands.
Good luck.
Colossal.
She says,
Dire.
Your options include, Option 1, head on downstairs, and Option 2, on second thought get out of there.
Option 1.
Your options include, Option 1, head on downstairs, and Option 2, on second thought get out of there.
Option 1.
You shrug and walk down the stairs. When you reach the bottom, you see a huge rat about the size of a small dog in the center of the room. It is munching on a giant wheel of cheese. Suddenly, it stops. Slowly, it turns to stare at you with big beady eyes. It hisses and charges at you. You are now entering combat with one giant rat.
Can it be
Say use lethal attack to use your special power. What do you want to try next?
Lethal attack.
You do not have that power. Say attack to swing at the enemy, check your health, or check your enemy's health. What will you do next?
Attack.
You go first. You missed the opponent with your sword. The giant rat struck you for 1 point of damage.
I gotta get
You
a
are
tetanus
fairly
shot.
well off. Say attack or run away or use a special power. What do you want to do now?
Attack.
The enemy goes first. The giant rat attacked and hit you for 2 points of damage. You are fairly well off.
Am I burning it? Did I burn your house down?
You attack with your sword and prick the enemy for 7 points of
Oh,
damage.
that's gotta be down.
The giant rat collapses to the ground and is dead. You found 1 gold piece and earned 40 experience points. You survive against the rat, but it wasn't pleasant. You're covered in rat guts and feel a little woozy. The old woman calls from upstairs.
Are you still alive?
You stumble back up, expecting a reward. Lola stands there
What does she
awkwardly,
have to give
rocking
me?
back and forth. Well, thank you, she says finally. Getting the hint that no reward is coming, you turn and
What does she
leave.
have?
You head back up the road, looking for a place to rest for the night. You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Yes,
While you are walking, you hear a commotion up ahead in the town square. There is a group of citizens gathered there, and an armored soldier is barking orders at them. The soldier spots you and waves you over.
Come with us.
He orders.
Every able-bodied person is required to lend their aid in this time of dire need.
I just did.
The prince of these lands has been captured and is being held in a cave by a group of bandits.
Of course.
A battalion is on the way but won't arrive in time to rescue him, so I'm forming a militia.
Your choices include Option 1, agree to go. Option 2, refuse to help. And Option 3, walk away.
Option 1 is the only path
They
to
welcome your
adventure.
support. All of the people gather up and head out, about 20 in total. Only the soldier looks like he has any military training, and the rest look unprepared but ready to fight to save their prince. The group of civilians and the soldier follow the tracks that the bandits left behind. It seems like there are quite a few of them and they aren't even bothering to be discreet. Finally, you arrive at the entrance of a cave a short while before nightfall.
This is the place.
The soldier says. Many of the others are scared now, most of them having no idea how to deal with something like this.
Split up
The soldier calls out.
and find the prince.
Your choices include Option 1, head into the cave. Option 2, search the area outside. And Option 3, hang back and do nothing.
Option 2. Always know your
You search
surroundings.
outside of the cave, having no desire to go into the darkness. Most everyone stays out here with you, splitting into small groups to search the surrounding woodlands. It is more likely that the bandits are inside anyway, right? After a few minutes of searching, you hear voices. You peek around a tree and see a couple of bandits are seated around a campfire just ahead. They are muttering amongst themselves about having to keep watch outside.
Capture.
Suddenly, one of the other townsfolk with you sneezes and the guards look up.
Oops. My bad.
Your options include Option 1, charge the bandits. Option 2, run the other way. And Option 3, sneak up and rob them.
Option
You
3.
do not have a fist to equip right now. You must either find or purchase a weapon before you can use it. After a few minutes of searching, you hear voices. You peek around the tree and see a couple of bandits are seated around a campfire just ahead. They are muttering amongst themselves about having to keep watch outside. Suddenly, one of the other townsfolk with you sneezes and the guards look up.
Oops. My bad.
Your choices include Option 1, charge the bandits. Option 2, run the other way. And Option 3, sneak up and rob them.
Option 3. They are like keys.
This is a perfect opportunity to get some extra stuff, you think to yourself. You attempt to stealth up on the bandits and steal their stuff. You succeeded on a stealth check. You successfully sneak up on one of them.
You're the burglar.
You dig around in his
Burgle
pack and find a
something.
healing potion. Score. A fight breaks out around you as the ragtag band of misfits and the bandits begin fighting. You found 2 gold coins and earned 27 experience points. Another of the bandits comes running from around a tree and charges towards you. Your choices include Option 1, run away. Option 2, draw your weapon and fight him. And option 3, move in the other direction.
Option 2.
You engage the bandit head on. You are now entering combat with one bandit. Say attack to swing at the enemy, check your health, or check your enemy's health. What will you do next?
Attack!
You go first. You cut and hit the bandit for 9 points of damage. The bandit falls and is dead. You found 1 gold piece and earned 30 experience points. You strike down the bandit. Things are starting to calm down as your side begins winning. You decide to search his belongings. You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Yes, I
While
could.
you are searching his pack,
Where the
you
hell
find
is
a potion filled with a green and gooey liquid. This is definitely not a healing potion, you realize. It smells terrible, but you sense that it could be beneficial. Your options include option 1, drink the potion, option 2,
This is old
leave the
school.
potion, and option 3, look for more things happening around you.
Option 1.
You drink down the slimy liquid. You failed on a luck check.
Oh.
It tastes terrible, but you force it down. After finishing off the last dregs, you start to feel weaker and sluggish. It also leaves an atrocious aftertaste. You are worse off for the rest of this mission. You leave the bandits behind with the other people in your group and hurry into the cave to catch up with the soldier. Negative damage effect is in effect for the rest of this chapter. This effect has a negative penalty of 5 points on damage rolls for the rest of a mission or chapter. You move deeper into the dark and damp cave, hearing the sound of terrible whispers echoing around you. The voice sounds evil and terrible, like it is coming from far off in the distance yet invading your very soul. You can see the light of a fire up ahead. When you round the corner, you spot a bound man in the midst of a group of bandits.
My prince,
The soldier shouts. He charges forward into the group. Your options include option 1, charge in after him, option 2, lag behind and avoid combat, and option 3, search for someone to rob.
Option 3.
You search around for someone worth pickpocketing. There is a lackey nearby who is the perfect target. You failed on a stealth check. You failed to pick his pocket. He screams, shoves you, and runs away. A bandit comes sneaking in towards you, weapon drawn and a smirk on his face.
I'm going to enjoy cutting you down.
Your options
You don't
include
sound like it.
option 1, take him on, option 2, skirt the walls and avoid him, option 3, taunt him, and option 4, intimidate him.
Option 3.
You tell him his mother was a hamster. He roars in
Oh,
rage
they
at you
smell
and
the
charges in,
elderberries.
swinging wildly. You are now entering combat with one bandit. Say attack or run away or use a special power. What do you want to do now?
Healing potion.
You drank a healing potion and healed to full hit points. Healing potion has been removed from your inventory. Options include attacking, using special attacks, asking about details for how something works, or running away. What would you like to do now?
Attack.
The enemy goes first. The bandit hit you for 8 points of damage. You have 19 out of 27 hit points left.
He set me on fire? Burn the witch.
You cut with your sword and crit the bandit for 5 points of damage. The enemy has 2 out of 7 hit points left. Say use Expeditious Retreat to use your special power. What do you want to try next?
Attack. He's got 2 hit points left.
You go first.
Yeah. He's. Oh.
You miss the bandit with your sword. The opponent missed you with its sword.
Oh, okay, good.
Say attack to swing at the enemy, check your health, or check your enemy's health. What will you do next?
Attack.
The enemy goes first. The bandit struck you for 8 points of damage. You have 11 out of 27 hit
He's got
points
2.
left. You attack with your sword and hit the bandit for 9 points of damage. The enemy falls to the ground and is dead. You found 2 gold coins and earned 40 experience points. You strike down the bandit. Combat is winding down now, but there are still some enemies left.
Losing track.
You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Yes, I could.
The few remaining bandits attempt to run away from your ragtag group and the soldier, realizing their fight is lost. Your choices include Option 1, engage one before he can escape. Option 2, allow the combat to end. And Option 3, look around for sweet loot.
Option 3. Sweet,
You
sweet.
succeeded on a perception check.
Yeah.
You spot a few unattended items on the
Sword.
ground nearby. Bow and arrows has been added to your character sheet. As the combat winds down and your group subdues the bandits, you notice the tied-up prince in the corner of the cave. He is a young black man, around 30 years of age and handsome. He is wearing expensive but torn and dirty clothes after his terrible ordeal. He is barely conscious. Your choices include Option 1, rush forward and set him free. Option 2, hang back and do nothing. And Option 3, clean off your weapons.
That's kind of smug. Option 1.
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands. As the combat winds down and your group subdues the bandits, you notice the tied-up prince in the corner of the cave.
There he is.
He is a young black man, around 30 years of age and handsome. He is wearing expensive but torn and dirty clothes after
When
his
is a
terrible
prince not
ordeal.
handsome?
He is barely conscious. Your choices
When
include
is a prince
Option
barely
1,
conscious?
rush forward and set him free. Option 2, hang back and do nothing. And Option 3, clean off your weapons.
Option 1.
You rush forward and cut loose the ropes binding the prince, freeing him. He rubs his sore wrists.
Thank you.
He says, climbing shakily to his feet. He looks like he's been trapped in here for days and needs your help to walk. You catch him under the arm and help him move back toward the exit. The soldier tells everyone to head for the exit so you can get back to town before nightfall. As you all turn to leave, suddenly the cave begins shaking. The whispering sound you heard earlier starts to intensify. People began shouting and screaming in fear and everything starts to crumble around you, rocks falling from the ceiling. Suddenly, there is a bright flash of light.
How are we going to
The
help?
world falls away and you slip into unconsciousness. When you wake, it feels like you spent an entire week drinking and then got bashed over the head for good measure. You don't remember ever feeling this bad before, and it takes a full minute just to clear your thoughts. You groggily sit up and glance around. You are in the basement of what appears to be a circular room of sorts. The walls are black and ugly and pulse with some disturbing sort of inner life.
Put some drapes up or something.
The entire place feels evil and wrong, and most of that sensation is emanating from up above you. The prince is lying on the ground beside you, still unconscious, but you are the only two people here. The cave you were last in outside of Reynolds Pass is gone. Your choices include Option 1, wake the prince up. Option 2, investigate the area. And Option 3, wait and see what happens.
Option 1.
You shake the prince awake. It takes a moment before he blinks his eyes open, and when he looks up at you it is with confusion.
Where are we?
He asks.
What is going on?
You don't have a good answer
look
for
like I
him,
have answers?
having no clue what this place is or how you got here. You have reached a milestone. You found 2 gold coins and earned 26 experience points.
Losing track.
Do you hear that whispering?
The prince asks.
It sounds like it's everywhere. It's hurting my head. I heard it back in the cave when the bandits held me prisoner.
Your options include Option 1, say that you did as well. Option 2, ask what he thinks it is. And Option 3, turn to more pressing matters.
Option 1.
Good.
He says.
I'm glad it isn't just me. We should check this place out and try to escape.
He says, standing up. The staircase that circles up and to the right seems to be the only way out, leading to the next level. You climb up to the next level, unsettled by the pulsating walls.
This place is evil.
The prince says. Your choices include
All right, Captain
option
Obvious.
1, I feel it. 2, option 2, what gave it away? And option 3, stay silent.
Option 2.
The longer we stay, the worse it will get. I think I might know where we are.
When you press him about that,
Get it out.
though, he refuses to answer. When you reach the top of the staircase, you realize you are on the first level of some sort of huge tower. There is another staircase leading up to your left and a door to the outside. The door is standing slightly open.
We should go.
The prince says. Your choices include option 1, search for traps. Option 2, head up the stairs. Option 3, let the prince decide. And option 4, exit the tower.
Option 1.
You search around the area for traps but don't see anything obvious. You head up the stairs. You go upstairs to the next level. The evil feeling up here is even worse. It's as though something is watching you, but there is nothing there. The very rocks of this tower seem hostile. You swallow your fear and press on, wanting to find out more about what brought you here or why. The prince reluctantly follows, unsettled. On the second floor you spot a table in the center of the room, but the rest of the place is bare.
This place is evil.
The prince
Oh,
whispers.
shit.
We are only seeing what it wants us to see. There is more here, but we are blocked from it.
Your options include option 1, investigate the table. Option 2, exit the tower. And option 3, let the prince decide.
Option 2.
You move back downstairs to exit the tower. You attempt to exit the tower when suddenly the ground begins shaking violently beneath your feet. The front door of the tower begins to close and you sprint through. The prince is only a step behind.
Oh no.
He is mine. A booming voice roars from deeper inside the tower.
Who are you?
You grab the prince by the arm and drag him through, barely pulling him free before the stone slams closed. Its outline disappears into the pulsating wall, fading into the black exterior of what you realize is an enormous citadel. You escape into a bright and sunlit day, surrounded by only desert. The top of the dark citadel stretches up into the clouds, disappearing from sight.
Thank you for getting me out of there.
The prince says.
I was afraid I wouldn't make it.
Your options include option 1, ask who that voice was. Option 2, ask where you are. And option 3, say that was scary.
Option 1. What the hell was that?
I didn't understand that request. Say next, previous, or repeat to cycle through possible commands. You attempt to exit the tower when suddenly the ground begins shaking violently beneath your feet.
Yeah, Star Trek episode.
The front door of the tower begins to close and you sprint through. The prince is only a step behind. He is mine. A booming voice roars from deeper inside the tower. You grab the prince by the arm and drag him through, barely pulling him free before the stone slams closed. Its outline disappears into the pulsating wall, fading into the black exterior of what you realize is an enormous citadel. You escape into a bright and sunlit day, surrounded by only desert. The top of the dark citadel stretches up into the clouds, disappearing from sight.
Thank you for getting me out of there.
The prince says.
I was afraid I wouldn't make it.
Your options include option 1, ask who that voice was. Option 2, ask where you are. And option 3, say that was scary.
Option 1.
The prince stares at you, a fearful look in his eyes.
He knows.
I don't know.
Oh, you know.
To be honest, I'm not
Liar.
sure I want to know.
Liar.
Your choices include option 1, ask if he knows where you are. Option 2, start trekking off into the desert. And option 3, wait for the prince to decide.
Option 1.
I wish I knew.
The prince replies.
That is the Dark Citadel, though. A terrible evil used to live there.
All around is a desiccated landscape and intense sunlight,
Because
and
of
in the
the
distance you
dark
spot
tower.
the tips of enormous mountains.
We are far to the east.
The prince explains.
Hundreds of miles from where you first found me in the caves. It will take a few days for us to get back to Alderton.
Your options include Option 1, start trekking toward Alderton. Option 2, ask
what I'm
about the
supposed to
Dark
do.
Citadel. Option 3, walk in silence. And Option 4, head directly to Chapter 2.
Option 1.
You and the prince begin walking, heading back toward the capital city of Alderton. That is the conclusion of Chapter 1. The journey begins. You have reached a milestone. You found 1 gold piece and earned 37 experience points. You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Yes, I
The
could.
Dark Citadel menu. Which path would you like to select? Your options include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on. Option 3, Player versus Player menu. And Option 4, Change games.
Repeat.
Say the exact text of the option you would like to select to continue the game. The Dark Citadel menu. Which path would you like to select? Your choices include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on. Option 3, Player versus Player menu.
Option
And
1.
Option 4, Change games.
Option 1.
Alright, which of the chapter groups would you like to select from? Your options include Option 1, 1 through 3. Option 2, 4 through 6. Option 3, 7 through 9. And Option 4, Main menu.
Option 1.
Which chapter? Your options include Option 1, Chapter 1 The Journey Begins. Option 2, Chapter 2 Locate the Seeker. And Option 3, Previous.
Option 2.
Great, then let's begin the second chapter. When last we left off, you had escaped the Dark Tower with the prince and were on your way to the capital city of Alderton through the desert.
Save.
When last we left off, you were sleeping in the castle in one of the guest quarters.
Loud castle.
It takes 3 days of hiking through the desert to reach the capital.
Oh, no.
The days are too hot with the burning sun and the nights are cold and uncomfortable. Luckily, you had food and water packed from before you began this adventure so you and the prince don't starve.
And I have a bone arrow.
Finally, you reach the outer gates of Alderton. It is an enormous city with 60-foot tall walls and many miles across. You've never seen a city so big, and it takes your breath away. As you approach, the guards outside declare that the city is closed due to an orc invasion in the outer territories.
War is coming,
One says,
and no one can enter.
your choices include Option 1, point out the prince. Option 2, allow the prince to speak. And Option 3, walk past them.
Option 1.
You point to the prince and demand to be let inside the gates. They scoff at first, but the prince reluctantly pulls out a royal insignia tucked under his shirt.
My father will want to see me.
He says,
I am quite sure my parents are looking for me.
the guards gulp and rush you both through the city to the royal palace. You and the prince are taken
gotta
to a
try
room to
something
meet
here.
with the king and queen. The palace is lavish. The meeting hall you are brought into is beautiful with ornate carvings, paintings, and tapestries adorning it.
Like that.
Each is worth a fortune on its own, and it is difficult to not feel overwhelmed by it all. Your options
Sticky
include
fingers.
Option 1, this place is nice. Option 2, you left this behind. And Option 3, I wonder how much this is worth.
Main menu.
Alright, jumping back to the main menu. The Dark Citadel menu. Which path would you like to select? Your options include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on.
Is this gonna save
Option
you?
3, Player versus Player menu.
Is that many
And
chapters?
Option
I'm
4,
not sitting through the
Change
entire
games.
game right now. Save.
Your options include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on. Option 3, Player versus Player menu. And Option 4, Change games.
End game.
The Dark Citadel menu. Which path would you like to select? Your choices include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on. Option 3, Player versus Player menu. And Option 4, change games.
Alexa, end game.
The Dark Citadel menu. Which path would you like to select? Your options include Option 1, Chapters 1 through 9. Option 2, Chapters 10 and on. Option 3, Player versus Player menu. And Option 4, Change games.
Change games.
You could strike down your foes much easier with a magic sword.
Yes.
Which game would you like to select? Your choices include Option 1, The Dark Citadel. Option 2, Last Light in the
All
Dark.
right, this is...
Option 3, Gumshoe Detective Agency.
Oh.
And Option 4, Ghost Stories.
Alexa, end game.
Which game would you like to select?
Alexa,
Your
off.
choices include... Okay.
There we go. Woo! All right, so that first chapter took me, about 45 minutes? Not bad. I mean, I had to remember how to talk to Alexa a few times. I messed up. But, that was the equivalent of a choose your own adventure book. And it was fun. And the little voices kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't, even though the acting is absolutely horrible. It did catch me by surprise. I didn't know there was going to be any sort of voice acting, and I really don't want to use that term voice acting because that was barely acting. But to hear the differences was interesting. I think they went a little fast and easy on it. I'm not saying that an orc can't sound like a refined British person, but that's not usually what people think of when they think of orcs talking. So I think that was just a little bit quick, lazy choice in casting. But is that what this is really about? It was fun. It was a fun little walkthrough, and I can't believe how many chapters that they actually have. So I'll wait before I play another one and see if anyone is interested in the continuation of the Dark Citadel. So if anybody wants to see more, then I'll continue with Chapter 2 online. And if not, there's a few other things here for us to try. Right? Shh, quiet. All right, so thanks for joining me with this possible new series. Let me know if you like the series in general. Please do. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G for 2 Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and my friends, I and Alexa are out of here.